Quick question to kick us off. If two superstar AI models walked into a coffee shop, what would they brag about to each other? Which one makes better espresso of ideas? Gemini 3 or ChatGPT?
Laughs. Love the image. One might show off a latte art of images and video, the other serve a perfectly structured, well-cited espresso shot of text. Jokes aside, that coffee shop scene captures the heart of this comparison. Both are powerful, but they emphasize different strengths. Let's unpack that without getting lost in model names and numbers.
Good. Start with the high level. What's the core philosophical difference between them?
At a high level, think of Gemini 3 as leaning into multimodal fluency and deep integration with an ecosystem of search, images, and real-world signals. It's built to interpret and combine text, images, maybe audio and video more seamlessly, like a conversation that naturally brings pictures and clips onto the table. ChatGPT, on the other hand, has traditionally focused on conversational mastery, safety guardrails, extensibility through plugins and APIs, and a polished developer and user experience. So one emphasizes sensory breadth and grounding, the other emphasizes reliable dialogue, extensibility, and an evolving toolchain.
Sensory breadth? That's a neat phrase. Can you give a concrete example where multimodality changes the game?
Sure, imagine you're renovating a small kitchen and send a photo of the layout. A multimodal model can point at the photo, suggest where to put the sink, estimate lighting needs, even sketch possible layouts mentally. A text-first model can absolutely help measurements, budgeting, style advice, but having the image in the loop lets the assistant reason about spatial details and visual cues. That's the sort of advantage multimodality brings.
So Gemini 3's visual understanding is the edge. Does that mean ChatGPT is behind?
Not necessarily behind different toolset. ChatGPT has been rapidly integrating multimodal features too, through product updates and plugins, but its strength is conversational robustness, chaining of tools, and an ecosystem where third-party plugins can call specialized services, think code execution, databases, or domain-specific APIs. If you need a reliable recipe for integrating tools into a workflow scheduling, CRM, or custom data retrieval, that ecosystem can be a massive productivity gain.
How about raw reasoning and creativity? Which one is more reliable for complex problem-solving or creative tasks?
Both are strong. For complex reasoning, long-form math, chain of thought, logic, or multi-step coding tasks, the difference often comes down to architecture choices and training objectives. ChatGPT's designs have emphasized iterative, safe reasoning, and clear step-by-step output, which users appreciate for technical work. Gemini 3, with recent iterations, has put a lot of work into reasoning too, and tends to shine when you combine reasoning with real-world context from images, documents, or web signals. For pure creative tasks, stories, playful brainstorms both excel, but their voices can feel distinct. One might err more toward vivid, exploratory creativity, the other toward structured, refined creativity.
You mentioned context. What about context window size? That always shapes how long conversations can be.
Context window matters a ton. Larger windows let the model remember more of the ongoing conversation, documents, or code bases without resending them. Models in recent generations have been expanding that capacity significantly. Practically, a bigger context means fewer interruptions and better continuity for long projects, like drafting a white paper across multiple sessions or reviewing an entire book. If Gemini 3 is offering larger, multimodal-aware context, it becomes especially useful for workflows that mix long documents and images. ChatGPT's models have also increased context sizes and add features like memory that persist across sessions, which serves long-term assistant behavior very well.
Safety and hallucination always the sticky part. Who handles it better?
Safety is more about design choices than raw capability. Both players invest heavily in reducing hallucinations and harmful outputs, but they approach it differently. One may prioritize grounding responses in external sources and signal integration. The other builds stronger conversational constraints, verification steps, and developer controls for tool-based fact checks. Neither is perfect. Both will sometimes generate inaccurate or confidently incorrect answers. The real difference lies in how they let you verify or augment outputs. Tool access, citations, retrievable sources, or integrated search can make a huge difference in trustworthiness.
So if I'm building a product, how should I choose? Cost and access matter too.
Choose by use case. If your product needs to process images, video, or mixed media tightly coupled with reasoning, a multimodal first model is attractive. If you need a stable, well-documented API ecosystem, plugin-style integrations, and predictable conversational behavior, that tilts towards ChatGPT's strengths. Then factor in cost, latency, and regulatory needs. Enterprise customers often weigh security, on-prem options, or data controls. Both providers offer tiers aimed at businesses, but how they implement privacy and compliance can be a decisive factor.
Can you give a short story of a company choosing between them?
Sure, a small e-commerce startup wanted smarter product pages. Customers could upload a photo and get personalized styling advice plus product links. They chose the multimodal first route because the image understanding allowed immediate contextual recommendations. Another company, an accounting SaaS, needed tight integration with customer databases, scheduled reports, and regulatory compliance. They picked the conversational platform with rich plugin and API support, enabling secure database queries, audit logs, and controlled automation. Two different needs, two different winners.
What about developer experience? Which one is easier to build with?
Developer experience depends on documentation, SDKs, and community. ChatGPT has cultivated a strong developer ecosystem with well-documented APIs, example code, and plugin frameworks that let you connect external tools safely. The other model's ecosystem often ties deeply into search and cloud services, offering powerful pre-built integrations for multimedia and real-time data. Developers choose based on the stack they prefer. If you want deep Google Cloud integration or search grounding, that could be easier with one. If you want a plugin marketplace and an established chat workflow, the other might be smoother.
Any pitfalls people should watch out for when adopting either system?
Absolutely. Over-reliance is the top one, assuming the model is always correct. Also, mismatched expectations. Using a general model where a specialized, fine-tuned system would do better. Privacy and data handling are critical. Sending sensitive data without proper controls is risky. Finally, UX matters. A model's output has to be shaped into predictable, testable behaviors for users. That requires human-in-the-loop design, monitoring, and iterative tuning.
Before we wrap, any metaphors to help listeners remember the difference?
Picture two craftspeople. One is a multimedia architect who can look at a room and instantly sketch, annotate, and recommend fixtures. That's the multimodal first model. The other is a master writer and systems integrator, precise, dependable, and great at organizing complex workflows and connecting tools. That's the conversational platform model. Both are masters. You hire one based on whether you need visuals and sensory grounding or tight tool orchestration and conversational finesse.
Nice. Quick, fun question. Which one would win at a game of Pictionary?
The multimodal model takes Pictionary. It can actually see and interpret the drawing. But in a trivia contest where answers must be strictly sourced and citations required, the other might have the edge with its plugin-based fact-checking tools. So it depends on the rules of the game, and that's the final takeaway.
Exactly. They're not just competing models. They're complementary approaches in an ecosystem. The smart move for most teams is to pick the one that aligns with immediate needs and build an architecture that can adapt as both families of models evolve.
Great close. One last thought to leave listeners with?
Ask yourself, what problem are you solving? Is it about seeing and grounding in the world, or about orchestrating complex, reliable workflows? That question points straight to the right tool. And if you can, keep both in your toolkit. They play off each other beautifully.
Thanks, that's a wrap. Listeners, next week we'll test drive a hybrid workflow that uses both approaches together. What could possibly go wrong? Laughs.
Only the fun kind of errors, the kind you learn from. See you next time.